Today we're going to discuss the medical benefits of psychedelic or magic mushrooms. Okay, so first off, we have that they can be used to treat OCD, PTSD, eating disorders, anxiety, substance abuse disorders, and even intractable depression. And in one of these studies done on intractable depression, half the patients were still in remission 4 weeks later, which is huge compared to current treatments like Lexapro, etc. And this brings us to our next point, which is that remission can last from months to years, which is crazy when you look at our current treatments, because all the prescriptions that we usually use, you have to keep taking to actually have results, whereas this is like a one-time dose and you're still seeing results later on. And in addition to this, 60% of patients who underwent this treatment to quit smoking were still abstinent 16 months later. And compared to the most common smoking cessation treatment, this is again a huge difference because that one only has 35% success, compared to 60 is almost double. So this brings us to the next point on the list, and my personal favorite, which is that magic mushrooms, are actually psilocybin, the active ingredient of them, create new neuronal connections and connect previously unconnected regions of the brain. So the effect that this has is that suddenly you're thinking on a much higher level than before, and you're thinking outside of that box that we normally keep ourselves in. We all do it unintentionally because we're used to thinking in a certain way, but psilocybin actually gets rid of this barrier and allows us to think about things in a whole different perspective, which means that patients are able to see not only things that they may be doing in their lives that are self-destructive, but also ways that they can fix this, things that they're worrying about that may not be so important, and just other things that they would not have noticed or realized if they had not taken psilocybin. And so this brings us to the next point, which is that psilocybin breaks mental barriers and allows patients to discover how they may help themselves. And so, like I said before, psilocybin breaks us out of that box that we're so used to thinking in. And although we're not in this altered perspective past the treatment, it still is such a successful treatment because we remember all those things that we got from the experience. So if the patient decided that something they've been stressing about isn't as important as they previously thought, or if they found a new purpose in life, or just found some kind of reason to help themselves or came to some sort of conclusion, this will carry on to them later because they remember the experience and they remember how strong the emotion that they felt was during the event. And this is what really motivates them to help themselves in the future, which is what creates such a strong remission. It's that personal motivation. This is so much different from other drugs because it's not chemically altering the brain, it's teaching the patient how they can help themselves. In addition, it's great for terminally ill patients because it leads to decreased depression and decreased feelings of hopelessness in them by showing them that even though they are nearing the end of their life, this doesn't mean that it's the end of everything, doesn't mean that it has to be a bad thing, and that there could be a great thing beyond it even. And finally, we have that even bad trips can become great lessons because what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. So even if the patient has a horrible time, they're going to overcome it, and then that's going to be a productive use of time that they will learn from. And in addition, there are absolutely no adverse health effects.